Welcome to the 5th edition of the OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013. I'm your host Sonia Chu, and sit tight with me for the next 30 minutes as I take you through all the highlights of the 3-day adrenaline-packed cycling extravaganza. From races to rides, beginners to professionals, conventional to unusual. Cyclists ruled as over 11,000 bicycles took to the streets of the Republic at this year's OCBC Cycle Singapore. This annual cycling fiesta has steadily grown into Asia's largest mass participation event.
This is the 5th year that OCBC cycling has been going on, and year after year you do see the event growing, and I think this year the turnout is the largest ever. It's already one of the biggest cycling events in Singapore. So I think this will certainly have a very positive impact on cycling, both in terms of the high-level elite sports as well as mass cycling.
We really would like to promote the sport. It's a very healthy sport, and I think it's also a family sport. So we can have more people involved from the community over here. But even though, we've got other people coming in from even neighboring countries to join us. So it's a fantastic event for the branding of OCBC Bank. But it's also the right event for the community.
In its 5th edition, the event sees itself incorporated into Cycle Asia, a new initiative from organisers Spectrum Worldwide to expand the winning formula across the continent.
Yeah, Cycle Asia is just been launched in January this year, and we have some exciting initiatives underway already. Robbie McEwen is here at this year's event as our official Cycle Asia ambassador, and his event in September, the Gold Coast Festival of Cycling, will be the 3rd event in the Cycle Asia calendar after OCBC Cycle Malaysia and OCBC Cycle Singapore. And then we will be announcing fairly shortly a new event in the Philippines, which will be taking place in November, and an event in Indonesia, which will be taking place in October. And as we look further afield to 2014, we have some guests that will be joining us from Cambodia that will be looking at an event there, and hopefully some guests coming in from Thailand to look at an event there as part of our expansion, along probably with Hong Kong in 2014.
All right, let's kick things off with the amateur criterium. First up though, here are some highlights from the Masters criterium race. OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013's Masters Open Criterium saw 39 of the best amateur cyclists take to the track. This category saw men aged 40 and above test their mettle on the 1.6-kilometre F1 circuit.
Well, that's the way to do it. You can't waste time. You can't allow the gaps to ease open at all at this level of racing, because if you do, then you won't catch them again.
2012's first runner-up, Noor Afandi, was back this year with the top prize in his sight.
The man that took the Commonwealth Games silver medal for Malaysia, a first ever then, gets his 2nd win in as many years. A tremendous win there.
He sprinted ahead of the pack to clinch gold against fellow countryman Sai Kiong Leong.
I'm very happy because last year I got 2nd only. This year I try my best. I got 1st, and I'm very happy.
Here are the final results from the Masters Open Criterium. Over in the women's criterium, defending champion Dina Chan continued her winning ways.
I see Dinah still in there, maintaining position. Yep. 3 girls at the back, so whoever can choose the fastest wheel of the men's bunch is going to take the women's race.
After being crowned winner in 2011 and 2012, Dina was all set to make it 3 in a row. She narrowly edged out Team Malaysia's Zhu Fa to clinch gold in the women's criterium.
Very happy because I was up against a lot of strong Malaysian sprinters. They're really good, and one of them was a past SEA Games champion. So I'm very happy to be able to win in Singapore.
Here are the final results. Finally, in the men's open criterium, it was Jaco Coupens of the Netherlands who claimed top spot.
The clock starts to tick down as we see Jaco Coupens lead the breakaway through the finish line. Here's an attack straight away from Coupens as he comes into the second last corner, tries to surprise them.
The former amateur world champion raced ahead of the pack to defend his title. Fauzan Lutfi from Malaysia was close on his heels and finished second.
And he seems to be riding away with it as Coupens comes to the line, and we've had another defence of a title.
If you're the defending champion, it's always difficult because more guys watch you. So for that reason, I try to attack in the beginning to surprise several guys. So yeah, I'm very happy. Of course, as a defending champion, I came here to win again.
Here are the final results. Alright, coming up next, we've got the Ultimate Foleys Challenge, where contestants compete not only for the fastest time around the track, but they also dress to impress the judges with their innovative costumes. This year, a bunch of colleagues from the bike shop participated in this event, and we caught up with them for a bit just before the race to check in what's going on. Slick yet portable. A smooth ride on two wheels. Foldable bikes, or Foleys as they are called, are the latest rage amongst cyclists in Singapore. This bunch of friends from my bike shop tout themselves as Foleys specialists.
Between us, right? The first.
Meet Tan Kian Lim and his team of 25 as they gear up to participate in the Ultimate Foleys Challenge.
The Ultimate Foleys Challenge actually get a lot of my customers interested in participating in race, because previously race was only for road bikes, for mountain bikes, but never for folding bike. This is the first time a lot of my customers are actually very interested, but the folding bike community is still pretty small in Singapore. Then they are slowly expanding.
And off we go! OCBC Cycle Singapore's newest race saw over 40 riders zip around the 2.5-kilometer circuit in 30 minutes. 3 titles were up for contention: the best dressed on two wheels, and the fastest male and female rider on foldable bikes.
Ladies and gentlemen, supporters all around, how about another big round of applause?
It was Ian Krempel who came out top spots in the men's final, taking home $300 in prize money.
First time ever doing a folding challenge. I think it's the first time ever we have this event. It's pretty intense, the competition was stiff. I'm glad I managed to pull through and won the race.
Coming up after the break, top international cyclists battle it out under the stars in the professional criterium. Stay tuned. The highlight of the OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013 is the professional criterium. With over 17 teams comprising of 62 of the world's best riders, they raced around the 1.6-kilometer track in 90 minutes. The race had everyone on the edge of their seats. Singapore under the lights. A spectrum of stars on the track. Zipping through the Formula One Marina Bay Street Circuit. 2013 OCBC Cycle Singapore's professional criterium boasted of a stellar lineup frontlined by London 2012 Olympic gold medalist winner Ed Clancy, 2013 World Omnium champion Aaron Gate, and Olympic and Tour de France veteran Stuart O'Grady. The riders were raring to go at flag-off.
So as the bunch rolls away, you see immediately the speed is on. The Dutch rider Rabu from the OCBC Singapore cycling team.
Rafa Condor JLT's riders set the pace from the early stages of the race, with Christian Haus racing to the front, clocking 2 of the fastest laps ever recorded in the history of OCBC Cycle Singapore.
We've had 2 2-minute laps now, and we've never had a 2-minute lap in the history of the event until tonight.
The team of 4 riders dominated for most of the 90 minutes of the race, but it was Orica Green Edge's 2-man team of Simon Clark and Stuart O'Grady who wreaked havoc at crucial stages, eventually causing a split in the group.
As soon as the pace eases, somebody's willing to have a go, and just look how this peloton is shrinking.
And look at Stuart O'Grady, hits the front with Simon Clark in his wheel. Stuart O'Grady here is leading out Simon Clark. He's not a sprinter, but he's their best option, a very punchy little rider. Now what can he do? They're lining up in his wheel. Stuart O'Grady going full gas. And look at Clark, he's dived down under the inside. Simon Clark has dived through into the chicane.
I don't know whether you saw it, Robbie, but he was actually shouting at Stewie to stay right because he wanted the inside. Now, Clark, he did what he did on the second sprint, the fourth sprint rather. He's gone early. He wants the lead onto the home straight. He's got 10 lengths as he's come off that straight. Now he doesn't have to be a sprinter. He can stay the distance. He looks as though Simon Clark is going to get the first win since he won the fourth stage of the Tour of Spain last August, because Clark, it was Robbie McEwen for Orica Green Edge last year. It's Simon Clark this time, and that was Ed Clancy right up alongside him, but second it'll have to be for Clancy.
In the final lap, it was Simon Clark who sprinted to the finish line ahead of Ed Clancy to claim top spot. In the Cycle Asia King of Sprints, it was Neil van der Ploeg from the OCBC Singapore Continental Cycling Team who dominated the 5 designated sprints. Teammate Saodom Sin Fuchong also made it to the podium by winning the title of the Best Asian Rider.
Champion of the professional Criterium here at the OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013.
Both Stuart and I had some really heavy racing schedules in Europe, so when we came here we knew we would need like at least half the race to open our legs, and after about the 1 hour mark we started to feel good, and from then we really started to attack the race. And but when we realised it would come down to a sprint, we went to the back of the bunch and we had a little chat about how we would attack the finish and try and set it up for me to take the sprint.
Simon Clark!
OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013 has had the pleasure of having Phil Liggett lend his voice to the commentary team once again. We caught up with the legendary Tour de France and Olympics commentator.
I think O'Grady has read the tactic book many times over in his career. He's been the most brilliant, intelligent rider. He smells moves as he would his dinner.
He's known for his vivid language, sharp wit and encyclopedic knowledge of the sport. Calling the action at the Tour de France and the Olympics for over 40 years, meet the voice of cycling, Phil Liggett.
Simon Clark of Orica Green Edge.
Phil has been a part of OCBC Cycle Singapore since 2011 and has seen an immense growth in the sport in Asia.
Well, it was during those first 2 years when I started noticing it, because it wasn't getting huge coverage around the world. But I noticed some of the riders who were coming and thought, this must be something special about this event. And then Chris Robb, the organiser, contacted me and said what they were trying to do in this part of Asia. And, you know, this is an area which over these last 3 years has spectacularly grown as a cycling front. And Asia is the next place. People are seeing Asia as the next big development in the sport of cycling.
A former amateur cyclist, Phil was offered a contract to turn professional. But he decided to trade the bike for the mic.
Well, what happened was, I always say it's the only decision I've ever made in my life in business, which was not to turn professional. I won a contract in Belgium, and at the same time I was about to sign it, I had a job offer, which was to be a journalist. And that was, I lived in Liverpool, and I was offered the job in Fleet Street, the famous newspaper street in London, long way from my home. And I argued with myself, and I decided to take the job as a journalist, and it was so hard. My whole heart was in cycling. I wanted to be a professional. I wanted to make my money from the hobby I had into a profession. And I took what's turned out in hindsight to be the best decision in my life, and the only one I've ever made.
At 69, Phil still approaches every tour with youthful enthusiasm. But the veteran commentator admits that recent controversies in the cycling world have left him a tad disappointed.
Yes, I'll be absolutely honest. The traumas that the sport has suffered with the Lance Armstrong and the drugs affairs which came to a head in 2012 at the end. So that really hurt my enthusiasm, and it's taken a little while to come back into it. But other than that, no, I have loved every minute of my time with the sport. I've done Tour de France this year, it'll be my 41st year. Every day, never missed a day since 1973. I also have done 14 Olympic Games, winter and summer, because I commentate on winter sports as well. I wouldn't miss those for the world, yet I think your heart was with cycling at the start, it stays with cycling.
This year, the Parade of Hope was introduced to the OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013, where over 150 participants from 4 different charities participated in the ceremonial ride to raise awareness for their cause. OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013 extended its charity partnership program, Cycle of Hope, to include 2 new charities this year. Participants from Sing Health Transplant, Singapore Sports Cares, along with representatives from the Dover Park Hospice and Singapore Children's Society, took a leisurely 30-minute lap around the F1 pit building. And one of the participants was Dr. William Tan, Paralympian and Singapore's wheelchair marathon champion.
This time round is for a very worthy cause, the Sing Health Transplant Fund. And I have a soft spot for transplant patients because I have gone through bone marrow transplant, and it has been quite a journey going through a transplantation myself. And I empathize very much with my fellow transplant patients. And you know, being a medical doctor, it has been humbling to have gone through an illness like stage 4 leukemia and going through bone marrow transplant, and very much so I want to give as much support as possible beyond the 4 walls of the hospital, like doing something here to raise the awareness and also to raise funds to support the Sing Health Transplant program.
The Parade of Hope was not the only charity event at this year's OCBC Cycle Singapore. The Business Times Charity Challenge saw individuals and teams of 4 sign up to make donations towards Dover Park Hospice and Sing Health Transplant. One such group of riders were employees from the Singapore Post. This group of postmen and women donned their uniforms and mounted their bicycles to deliver a message of a different kind. The Parade of Hope and the Business Times Charity Challenge raised a total of $160,000 by the participants for OCBC Cycle Singapore's official charities. Stay tuned to OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013. There's a lot more cycling action coming up after the break. Early Sunday morning saw 11,000 people descend on the F1 pit to be part of the cycling action. The wee hours of Sunday morning saw over 1,200 participants take part in the 61-kilometer Super Challenge. Riders included the voice of cycling, Phil Liggett, who was all set to brace the challenge. If 61 kilometers seemed like a daunting task, there were other non-competitive rides for the participants to enjoy. The 42-kilometer challenge had over 5,000 riders, while families and friends came together for the 24-kilometer community ride. OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013 had something for everyone.
You know, it's becoming a bigger and bigger event every year. All right, good to see that the whole community is coming together. So very, very good organization. I think it was a very enjoyable ride.
The roads are closed well, and there are marshals everywhere, so it was quite good. And when we are coming back, there was people cheering us on. It was quite amazing, you know.
I see a lot of enthusiasts, bike lovers, all kinds of bikes, small bikes, kids' bikes. Everybody's having fun here. I think it's great.
I can see families together with their kids coming over cycling. It's great.
Here at the OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013, it's not just about professional cycling, but it's a chance for families to get together with tons of fun and tons of games. Right here, there's something for everyone. Whether it was taking a break from the scorching heat at the Riders Cafe, or mingling with the professionals, visitors to OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013 found themselves entertained between the rides. Sponsored by brands such as Volvo, Norton and 100 Plus, parents and kids of all ages joined in the fun.
I think it's a fantastic event to be held for kids to enjoy as well.
We brought our extended families along, so it's a good time for the parents to bond together with the extended families. I think all this while we have been quite supportive of the local sporting scene. We see that it's a great platform actually, given that the cycling community has picked up quite a bit to promote tolerance and respect, both in terms of drivers and cyclists.
Norton is about protecting your devices online. We've got a new product out this year which protects your PC, your laptop, your tablet, your phone. And we want people to be safe, and we want people to be safe when they cycle. So, for example, this is the bike park. We're protecting all the bikes of all the participants. So that's just another way we are partnering with OCBC.
I'm at the Cycling and Lifestyle Village right now, and boy is it amazing. If you're a cycling enthusiast and you want to check out the coolest and latest gadgets in cycling, this is the place to be. Let's go see what's new. From running bicycles to getting a bike fit, innovative cycling equipment filled the floors of the F1 pit building. This year, the Lifestyle Village had over 100 booths, with exhibitors bringing in the latest in cycling technology. Beginners and cycling enthusiasts were in retail paradise and had the cash registers ringing.
Great atmosphere down here, lots of stalls here on great discounts. Yeah, my friend bought a couple of things as well.
The things here are really on quite a good discount, so I'm quite happy to be here.
This is our first time participating in this. We didn't realize that actually the cycling community is this large in Singapore.
Wow, am I exhausted after trying out all the new stuff here at the Cycling and Lifestyle Village. In the meantime, let's head back to the show. With all the professional races underway, it's time for some real action. Let's make way for the kids. They came in all shapes and sizes, from tricycles to bicycles. The kids ruled. With over 1,000 children participating in various categories, including a junior challenge, these riders had everyone on their toes.
Was it very exciting to see your son cross the finish? Yes, it was fun, and I think he did a great job, right, Didi? Yes? Yeah, give me a high five. Yeah, awesome.
Quite emotional. Yeah, he did well. So, he's done the distance before, but not with all those people.
5 years since its inception, there's no doubting the impact of the event on the Singaporean landscape. And that's not about to change.
It's become an event that all cycling enthusiasts in Singapore and from abroad are looking forward to. There are many cyclists that hit the roads every day training, and they need something to train towards. And this is one of the key events that they can look forward to in the cycling calendar, where they can put to the test all the work that they put in over the year.
Well, I think if you see the numbers here at Cycle Singapore, where there's more than 11,000 entrants across all the cycling categories, the growth of cycling in Singapore and indeed across Asia, the growth has just been absolutely explosive. And it's so nice to see so many people enjoying cycling. I think every year it's been growing, it's been getting bigger. People, they do it once, they come back the next year, they're really getting hooked on cycling, which is great to see.
Look at the guys.
And the curtains fall on yet another fun-filled, action-packed OCBC Cycle Singapore 2013. We'll see you again next year, but till then, remember, cyclists rule.
OCBC Cycle Singapore! OCBC!